Hello my friends and welcome to the channel. Fantastic to have you here on the Electric Viking. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. There's been a huge number of subscribers lately. If you're watching, you've probably subscribed, so thank you for doing so. Now, one more thing. Hope you've had an awesome day. Just wanted to add that in there. Now, these are the world's 10 fastest selling EVs right now. Now, this information comes mostly from Inside EVs and a little bit from other places as well. Now, right now, the Tesla Model 3 is in first place. That's not all that surprising, but how many of you can guess which car comes in second place? Someone will just write in the answer, and then we can get a like on the answer to the second place. Give me a like on that comment for that vehicle if you got it right. Let me know. Now, I personally think the car in second place will very likely, very good chance, get to first place this same time next year, and I'll tell you why once I tell you what that car actually is. Now, Inside EVs had the understatement of the decade here. This is what they said. With EVs becoming increasingly popular in recent years, it's interesting to see which models sell the fastest. Well, I've got to give you some credit here, guys. You certainly aren't one for hyperbole, at least not today. On other days, yeah, you can be. So, EVs becoming increasingly popular. Well, yeah. EV sales are going through the roof. Pre-orders are going through the roof. Cars are selling out. Cybertruck has 1.3 million pre-orders. The Xpeng P5 has over 15,000 pre-orders. The Cadillac Lyriq sold out in 19 minutes, or less if you ask some people. The Ford F-150 Lightning had 48,000 pre-orders in 24 hours. You can see the picture. People want an EV. Now, this list was compiled by car lease comparison site Lease Loco, who have done their best to uncover the 10 fastest selling cars, electric cars, at the moment across the globe. This data is going to change very soon, by the way, very soon. Now, before looking at this data, it's worth looking at how they came to these results. It's quite hard to actually get these numbers, and sometimes the numbers even change later on. Don't know why, but sometimes the numbers coming out of China, they actually change a week later. But anyway, the company first analyzed the best-selling EVs worldwide. They then calculated how many cars are sold per year and per hour based on how long the vehicle has been on sale. Unsurprisingly, the number one spot goes to the Tesla Model 3, the all-time best-selling electric car in the world with 645,000 units sold since 2020. When you're reading this article, probably more like 670,000 units sold. Now, around about 590 Model 3s are sold every day and 25 every hour. It's going to be interesting to see how many are sold once Gigafactory Austin in Texas comes online, and the Gigafactory in Berlin also comes online. And also when Tesla starts to sell more Model Ys, that obviously will impact their sales as well. I think the Tesla Model Y will overtake the Tesla Model 3 for sales. And I think Elon Musk also thinks the same. Really, let's be frank, sedans are not popular. So it's staggering the Tesla Model 3 has done this well. They are really unpopular in most countries around the world now. I mean, China, they're still kind of popular in, but most countries, they're not. The Model 3 owes its popularity, though, to the fact that it is the most affordable Tesla model, contributing to the company reaching the production milestone of 1 million cars in March 2020. That's cumulative over the last decade. It also became the first electric car to sell over 1 million units worldwide in June 2021. Now, forecasters are saying they predict about 1.5 million sales for Tesla, about 1.5 million deliveries, I should say, for Tesla in 2022. I predict 2 million. Let me know what you predict in the comments below. Let's have a little competition and see who wins. Now, second place would surprise you if you hadn't subscribed to the Electric Viking. If you had, you'd already know. You'd already be surprised potentially if you didn't know. That's Wuling Hongguang Mini EV. Now, this car's been on sale in China since 2020, and it achieved 126,000 sales in 12 months, equivalent to 345 sold every day and 14 per hour. It's one of the cheapest EVs in the world, and it starts at $4,200 US, making it 7 times cheaper than a base Tesla Model 3. Now, why do I think that the Wuling Hongguang Mini EV has a very good chance to become the world's top-selling EV over the next year and replace the Tesla Model 3? By the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm invested in Tesla stock. I'm not biased against them. I love the company. It's okay. Don't get your panties in a knot if you think that's what I'm coming from. I'm not. The reason I say this is because the Wuling Hongguang Mini EV, the non-base model, costs just over $5,000 US, right? Well, now in China, Wuling Hongguang, or Wuling, SAIC, and GM have announced the new model coming out within the next, I think, 2 months. Will have double the range. It'll have 300 kilometers of range NEDC, so 250 kilometers in the real world, twice the power, twice the battery size, and it will be about 20% bigger for the same price. Yep, it's going to cost about just over $5,000 to the consumer. Now, it won't actually be the same price, but because it will now qualify for a Chinese incentive to the buyer, not just the seller gets $1,000 US. The buyer doesn't get the large incentive unless the range of the vehicle exceeds a certain limit, and this car now exceeds that limit. Now the buyer gets an incentive, bringing the price of the car back down to the same price as the base price of $5,500 for the higher. I think it's just under that actually, about $5,200 for that higher range model. In other words, this vehicle is way better than what it was before. Double the range, double the power, double the battery size, same price. You've got to tell me that's incredibly compelling. Now, they're going to be selling these in Europe as well. I believe sales have already started in Latvia, and that company plans on exporting the vehicles around in other countries in Europe as well. Now, could you imagine how well this car would do in Europe? People love small hatches in Europe. It's now a bit bigger. It has a very good real-world range and costs around about $10,000 in Europe. I mean, that is insanely compelling. It's about a third the cost of a Renault Zoe, which it's very similar to. So you can see what's going to happen. The writing's on the wall with that car. Now, another Tesla ranks in third place as the third fastest selling EV in the world. Like I said, the Tesla Model Y. I think it will actually supplant the Model 3 and become Tesla's top seller next year. With an average of 100,000 units sold a year, the crossover sells about 11 units per hour. Now remember though, the Model Y is still not for sale in many markets around the world, whereas the Model 3 is. So for example, in Australia, we can buy a Tesla Model 3. We've never been able to buy the Tesla Model Y. That's going to change soon. Very soon, the Model Y will be available in many new markets that it hasn't been available in. And of course, Tesla has a huge amount of demand for this vehicle that they're not fulfilling. They'll be able to fulfill that demand. And this will radically change the number of Tesla Model Y sales you'll see. The Model 2, this new talked about Tesla Model 2, that won't come out until probably 2023. So that won't change these numbers at all, I don't think. Now, in fourth place, very surprisingly, is the Nissan Leaf with 86,000 sales a year, followed by the BAIC EU series in fifth with 65,000 sales. Now, BAIC is a Chinese-owned company. Now, the highest ranking European model is the ID3 in sixth place with 54,500 sales. Now, in seventh place is the SAIC Baojun E-Series EV. In eighth place is the Hyundai Kona Electric. Ninth place is the Audi e-tron. And in 10th place, the Renault Zoe. So, I believe, very good chance BYD will enter this list with the Dolphin. Or the EA1, whatever you want to call it. I'll put a link in the description below to all my BYD videos about the Dolphin, the EA1, showing you, why this car is clearly going to become a top 5 seller worldwide. And when I say top 5 seller worldwide, I'm not talking EVs. I'm talking the entire car market. I'm willing to bet money that's going to happen. And there's good reason for that. I've done a lot of research on this car. The price is insanely compelling and it's an impressive vehicle. Now remember, all of these EVs on here, the Chinese models, are not currently the sales on here, on this list. None of those sales are from any country outside of China. So those sales for those EVs from China, you can see Chinese EVs occupy 2nd, 5th, and 7th places after only selling in China. Now, a number of EVs are coming outside of China within the next 12 months. Well, you're going to see a lot of EV sales of Chinese cars outside of China over the next 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you get the picture, but in 9 years' time, in 2030, massive, probably more than 50% of the global automotive market will be Chinese EVs. That's what I think is going to happen. So as CMO Tech says, if we don't immediately start supporting and encouraging American-built EVs, the Chinese will eat our lunch so fast we won't know what happened. Tom responds to him and says, unfortunately, the US government have failed to support EVs for years and seem to be more focused on protecting UAW lobbyists than innovation in America. Now, by reading that comment, I'll probably get a few more unsubscribes from the channel, but so be it. If you're that sensitive, then whatever. Now, I think, honestly, it's too late for the American market. Not for Tesla, but for all the others. I think they're going to get left behind and they'll only have a pretty small percentage of the market when all is said and done. When the dust settles in 2030, I think you'll find there'll be massive disruption in the United States. Not just the United States, but all over the world. Thanks for watching the video. See you on the next one.